Well, good morning. Have I told you that it's hot here yet? I am starting to think that even though I grew up in Florida, I was born in St. Pete, this is my hometown, I've been away too long because it's hot here. And not even so much the heat, but the humidity is just killing me the past couple days. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it's sapping all my energy, so I'm not building nearly as quickly as I had hoped to be. So yeah, I'm not thrilled about that. And my mom is starting to talk about all the boxes in the house. I've been here not quite 2 weeks, and she, I think, thought things would come in faster or that the build would go faster. And it's hard because in the early stages, you're doing things that don't really look like much, like running wiring. Yeah, you can see some wires hanging from the ceiling and the walls, but it doesn't really change the feel for the van too much. The insulation is nice, and that actually does change the feel for the van, but it's easy to overlook it after you've been looking at it for a couple days. So anyway, I am hoping that I'm going to get to some points where I can start doing some things that actually do make it look like this is turning into a camper van, like my walls and my floor. I have an order out at Lowe's this morning for pickup for a bunch of furring strips, and I just got this little baby. This is the Astro 1450 tool for plus nuts. There's a ton of discussion on the internet and the forums about whether you should do riv nuts or plus nuts or self-tapping screws. That's something that everybody's got to make their own choice, but I decided to go ahead and do plus nuts because I feel like they are going to be the strongest solution. And even though they're a little more expensive, I don't want to have to redo my walls because they're falling down. And I know people will tell you they've used self-tapping screws and they haven't had a problem. They've used riv nuts and they haven't had a problem. Like I said, it's everybody's own choice, but that's what I decided to do. So I'll show you my tool, and I'm going to do some test holes or test insertions, I guess, and then try to keep moving forward slowly. Forrest, what you doing? Chilling in the heat? I know. It's hot. I'm starting to feel like I'm in a comedy skit this morning because every single time I try to start recording, the neighbors, who I guess are cutting some limbs, I think they've got a wood chipper or something, but it keeps going off like that beep, beep, beep that you hear when somebody is reversing a truck. It's making me nuts. And I hope it doesn't make you nuts. I'm going to do my best to record in between beeps, and I apologize if this video is a little choppy with a lot of editing. That's why. So I do want to show you this Astro 1450. They make a 1442 as well for riv nuts. This one is modified for plus nuts, and it comes with instructions, of course. Not great though. One thing that's not included in the instructions is how to change the mandrel on the top, so I will show you that in case you're wondering. It comes with the tool, and basically the way it works is you open it up, you put your plus nut on here, you put it through the hole, and then you close it and it crimps the plus nut down. This is a plus nut. I ordered 1420 plus nuts that will go in the round holes, and I think from what I've read that I may have to drill those holes out a little bit. I'm going to double check that in a minute. But it also comes with several different mandrels that go on here, different sizes. This is M5, M6, M8, M10. I'm using 1420, and that matches the size of the plus nuts that I got. When I got this, I had to change the mandrel, and there's, you probably can't see it, there's a little bit of rust right there. So I had some trouble getting the bolts loose, and in the diagram it shows you this piece and this piece can be twisted to adjust the length that's sticking out right here, and that length needs to match up to your plus nut. So when you put your plus nut on top, you want it to be threaded all the way through, and mine's not set quite right now. So I need to adjust that. But if you want to change the mandrel, in the sleeve here where it's open, there is, let me open it up, there's a release here. I don't know if you can see it, but if I work that with my thumb, that release goes down, and that allows you to remove the mandrel here. First thing you have to do is take the bolt off, and the bolt matches the mandrel, so you want to keep this together with the mandrel itself, and then when you push that down, you can unscrew this. So I'm going to hold that down, release that, and so those are the two pieces of the mandrel that come in this little box here. So I'm going to put that back in. I just wanted to show you how it works because I was real confused and I had to resort to YouTube for an answer. The short end goes in, thread that on, and again I'm holding down the little release. It's like a snap release. Screw that in, put the bolt back on, as so. And then once I've released it, I need to just make sure that the threads here match up with the length of the plus nut. So it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and screw it on. And now, I don't know if you can see, but the very end of the bolt matches up with the end of the plus nut, so that should be the right length. And what you do is put that through the hole and then crimp it down by closing the handles. I'm not gonna do it just yet. And then if you need to, you can tighten up here a little bit more and squeeze it down again. It says to be very careful to not put too much force on here, because if you do, you can break the mandrel or ruin the plus nut. Like I said, I haven't done one yet. I'm about to test it out. First, I'm gonna just dry fit the plus nut in my hole and see if it's the right size, or see if I need to drill it out. So here is my mandrel and here is my plus nut. And again, as I open and close, you can see that more becomes exposed, and that is the right length. Okay, now there are obviously several different size holes on the Promaster here. A lot of people use the hex holes, which I can't find. They are over here. Here's the hex holes. A lot of people use these. I'm planning on using the round ones, and I may have to drill some new round ones, but I've got my plus nut here, and I'm just going to check fit, and what I was told is correct, that is not the right size. It has to be drilled out a little bit to make it bigger to fit this particular plus nut. Sorry about that boo-boo on my hand. That was the scissors. I should cover that up with a band-aid. So this hole is not quite the right size for my plus nut. I would have needed a smaller plus nut, I think. Some people drill these out. I may end up just actually drilling new holes to fit these. I said earlier they were 14-20. They're actually 1/4 inch 20. So the hole needs to be 1/4 inch to be able to get this through. And then the thread on it is 20 threads per inch. That's what that stands for. Here we go. And then you just open up and tighten it again. And as I do that, I can actually feel the plus nut beginning to splay open. And I can tell I'm done when it stops moving in the hole. All right, done.